My fiance's mom is trying to break us up. The first time I met my fiance's family, I was so nervous that my hands shook like leaves in the wind. I remember vividly the sound of my heart pounding in my ears as I walked up to their front door. It was a warm day in June, and the sun hung lazily in the sky, casting golden rays over the lush, green lawn of their suburban home. My fiance, who we'll call Alex, had his arm around me, offering a comforting squeeze as we approached. When the door opened, I was greeted with a flood of warmth. Alex's mom, who we'll call Linda, greeted me with a wide smile and a hug that felt surprisingly genuine. She ushered us inside, the aroma of freshly baked cookies wafting through the air. I remember thinking that this was going to be easier than I'd feared. As we settled into the living room, I met Alex's older sister, Emily. She was in her mid-20s and already a mother of two. She seemed nice enough at first, offering me a polite smile as she cradled her youngest child in her arms. We chatted about benign topics, the weather, our favorite movies, and how Alex and I had met. Over the next few months, I visited their home several times, and each visit followed a similar pattern. We'd have dinner, engage in small talk, and then Alex and I would retreat to his room or the backyard to have some time alone. Everything seemed perfect on the surface, but there was an undercurrent of tension that I couldn't quite put my finger on. It was subtle at first, like the way Emily would side-eye me when I mentioned my hobbies or the way Linda would ask probing questions about my plans for the future. I brushed it off, thinking it was just their way of getting to know me better. But the more time I spent with them, the more I realized that there was something off about the way they interacted with me. The turning point came one evening when Alex and I were hanging out in his room. We'd just gotten back from a trip to the local convenience store, where we'd picked up some sodas and snacks. Feeling playful, I decided to make a TikTok video of us in his truck, sipping on our sodas and laughing at an inside joke. I posted it without a second thought, expecting nothing more than a few likes from friends. Barely half an hour had passed when Alex's phone rang. He answered, and I could hear his sister's voice on the other end, her tone sharp and accusatory. She demanded to know if the sodas in our video were actually alcohol, threatening to tell their mom if they were. Alex tried to assure her that it was just soda, but she wasn't satisfied. She continued to berate him, and I could hear the tension in his voice as he tried to placate her. After he hung up, Alex turned to me with a frustrated sigh. "Emily's always been like this," he explained. "She's just protective of me, I guess, but it's nothing to worry about." I wanted to believe him, so I shrugged it off and went about my day. But Emily's intrusive behavior didn't stop there. A few weeks later, I posted another TikTok video, this time of Alex and me dancing in the living room. It was a silly, light-hearted clip, but once again, Emily called him almost immediately after I posted it. She accused me of making him look foolish, insisting that I was trying to embarrass him. Alex and I argued about it later that night. He told me that he understood why his sister was concerned but asked if I could tone down the TikToks for a while. I agreed, though I felt a pang of resentment. Why was his sister so invested in what I posted online? Things came to a head when Emily didn't call Alex directly but instead went straight to their mom, Linda. According to Alex, she'd told their mom that she didn't like my TikToks about exes. I admit, I did post a few videos where I humorously mocked my past relationships, but it was all in good fun. It was my way of coping with the memories and moving on, but Linda apparently saw it differently. "Why is she still thinking about other guys if she's with you?" she had asked Alex. When he told me about this conversation, I was hurt. It felt like a personal attack on my character, an implication that I wasn't committed to our relationship. I confronted Alex about why his family was so involved in our lives. "I get that they care about you, but this is getting ridiculous. I don't need them policing what I post online," I said, my voice trembling with frustration. Alex sighed, running a hand through his hair. I know. I just don't want to make things worse by pushing back too hard. They're my family, and they mean well, even if they don't always show it in the best way." We argued for hours, but eventually, we reached an uneasy compromise. I promised to stop making TikToks that might upset his family, and Alex agreed to talk to them about respecting our privacy. Despite our agreement, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched and judged. Emily's constant interference was driving me crazy, so I decided to block her on TikTok. It was a petty move, I admit, but I was desperate for some peace of mind. I hoped that blocking her would force her to talk to me directly if she had a problem, instead of running to Alex or their mom. But Emily didn't talk to me. Instead, she unfollowed Alex on TikTok and unfriended me on Facebook. I felt a mix of relief and guilt. I didn't want to cause a rift between Alex and his family, but I also couldn't keep living under their microscope. The situation took another turn when Linda called my dad, out of the blue, to ask why I had blocked her daughter. I remember my dad coming to me, bewildered, asking what was going on. Linda had apparently told him that I was trying to exclude Emily from our wedding party, a party that didn't even exist. Alex and I had planned to elope with just the two of us, a simple celebration with music and cake at my parents' house. There was no grand party, no guest list, no drama, or so I thought. My dad, bless his heart, was as confused as I was. He assured Linda that the elopement was just for me and Alex and that there was no party to be kicked out of. He then told me that Linda had suggested he convince me not to marry Alex. When he relayed this to me, I felt a surge of anger and hurt. How could she say such a thing? She had been so welcoming at first, and now she was trying to sabotage our relationship. I decided to confront Alex about it. We were sitting in his truck, parked in front of my house, the sun setting in a blaze of orange and pink behind us. I took a deep breath and told him everything, about the phone call, the accusations, and how it was affecting me. "I love you, Alex," I said, my voice trembling, "but your family is making this so hard. I don't understand why they're doing this. I thought they liked me." Alex looked torn, his face a mask of frustration and sadness. "I don't know why they're acting this way," he admitted. "It's like they're trying to protect me, but they're just making things worse. I'll talk to them again, I promise." The days leading up to our elopement were a whirlwind of emotions. On one hand, I was excited to marry Alex, to start our lives together. But on the other hand, the tension with his family cast a dark shadow over what should have been a joyful time. We eloped as planned, a quiet, intimate ceremony in my parents' backyard. I wore a simple white dress, and Alex looked dashing in his suit. My dad took pictures, capturing our smiles and laughter as we exchanged vows under the soft glow of fairy lights strung across the trees. It was perfect, in its own way, a small, private moment that was just for us. But even as we celebrated, I couldn't shake the feeling of Linda's disapproval looming over us. She had tried to invite herself to our elopement, insisting that she had a right to be there. Alex had to firmly tell her that it was just for us, that there would be no guests. She didn't take it well, accusing us of excluding her, of being secretive and unfair. After the elopement, Alex and I moved into a small apartment together. We were happy, finally free from the constant scrutiny of his family. But Linda and Emily's interference didn't stop. They continued to call and text Alex, questioning our decisions, criticizing our lifestyle. They even started rumors among their extended family, painting me as a manipulative, controlling girlfriend who was driving a wedge between Alex and his family. It was exhausting, but Alex and I tried to stay strong. We focused on building our life together, finding joy in the little things, cooking dinner together, watching movies on our old, second-hand couch, taking long walks in the park. We tried to keep the negativity at bay, to focus on the love we had for each other. But every visit to Linda's house was fraught with tension. She would make snide comments about my cooking, criticize the way I dressed, even question my hygiene. I remember one particularly painful incident when she scolded me for feeding Alex a piece of candy, claiming that I was spreading germs. She had seen me do this countless times before and never said a word, but now, every little thing I did seemed to be a problem. Alex and I would laugh it off, but it hurt. It hurt to know that no matter how hard I tried, I could never be good enough for his family. They saw me as an outsider, a threat to their close-knit bond with Alex. In the end, I had to accept that I couldn't change their minds. I couldn't make them like me or approve of our relationship. All I could do was focus on the love that Alex and I shared, on the life we were building together. It wasn't easy, but we managed. We created our own little world, one where we were happy and loved. We supported each other through the challenges, celebrated the victories, and held each other close through the tough times. Looking back, I realized that the struggles we faced with Alex's family only made our relationship stronger. We learned to communicate better, to support each other, to stand together against the world. And in the end, that's what really mattered: our love, our commitment to each other, our determination to build a life together, no matter what obstacles came our way. Our story is still unfolding, and I know there will be more challenges to come. But with Alex by my side, I'm ready to face whatever the future holds. We have each other, and that's enough.